Hello, Daisy Mountain Rock and Mineral Club. It is your wire wrapping professor. Just kidding. Wire wrapping, instructor. And we're doing our very first ever wire wrapping video because it's just the right thing to do with all the social distancing, and I didn't want us to go without. So today we're going to be working on doing our weave with beads. So you can kind of see the beads on there. And it just depends on how you want it to look. This one, I used metal beads, and they're all 3 millimeter in size. And really, it just depends on what beads you have that are gonna fit on your 20 gauge wire. So this is 20 gauge copper based wire. That's going to be the base of our weave today. And we're going to use 2 sections about 5 inches long. So I'm just cutting those off. Feel free to measure. I think I know what 5 inches looks like. Ha ha ha. So with this, you're just rounding off an end. I'm not putting any beads on this one so I can show you. But we're just taking it and rounding it so that you can't hurt yourself. So I'm taking both ends and I'm just rounding it. And that way we can all stay safe. You don't poke yourself. So there's our 20 gauge. And then we're going to want to put beads on. So it's up to you. The only criteria really is that they fit on your 20 gauge wire. And so I'm going to take, where did it go? There it is. Sorry, I just did a whiny weird thing. So I'm going to take some silver beads. I'm going to throw them on my beading blanket. Once I find where the cavity is, I can just put it right on. And you can do it as random as you like. You can make a pattern. It is entirely up to you. Oh my goodness. You just want to run away, don't ya? All right, there we go. So we got that one on. We got that one on. We're going to shove a turtle on. Turtle. And grab a few more of these beads. And now we're going to get them on. Ooh, I have cats, so cat hair is just, it's everywhere. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I don't know why I'm counting because I'm just trying to make it random. And I made a little box outline of where my camera could go, and now my beads, and it's just gross. I'm not going to say it out loud. Beads and cat hair. There, I did. I said it out loud. But these are just some of the beads that I knew worked for what I wanted to do. They're all about 3 millimeter. I got them all at Michael's. If any of you have gotten your beads at Michael's before, that's how they come. So those are the 2 that we're doing. That was Joey. Hi, Joey. And we'll add whatever other beads want to join the rest of the beads. Hopefully all of you are doing well with the COVID-19 and staying healthy. Maybe ordering your groceries instead of going in. Trying to do my best not to go around people while I'm working. So I don't want to use that one. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so I've got a few beads on here. You want about half your wire full of beads. So I only want 2 turtles on there. I don't want too many turtles. Just get a couple more silver ones on there. And it's up to you. You just, about half though. It's your call. And the pattern that we're going to be doing is this. So we're going to go to however many it goes that you need to wrap to get through the width of the bead. For me, it was 6. So you go 2 on both wires, 6 on one wire, 2 on both wires, 6 on one wire. So it really depends on what you need, depending on the width of your beads. So now that I've got all my beads on, and you, again, about half of the distance of your wire, I'm then going to fold that over just like that. And now, did I cut 2 wires? Oh my God, I'm such a mess. Ah! All right, now that I know that there's a magic box area, I just need to top in the other one to stay. We'll get to that here in a sec. I'll move the beads over. There it is. I'll need to do the other beads over. And there. Okay. Now we have our 2 wires, one with beads, one without. And I'm going to try and put the beads wire on top, the one without on the bottom. And I'm going to keep it about 3/16 apart. That's the distance I think I need for the beads and the wire wrapping with the 26 gauge, because this wire wrap requires 26 gauge, 20 gauge. So here's my 20 gauge, about 3/16 apart. And now that the beads are closer, about like that, far apart is where you want it. Just like that. And there we go. So I've got my beads on top and my clean wire on the bottom. And then I'm going to take my 26 gauge wire that I somehow have made a mess of. Not really sure what I did. Oh well. Oh my God, this is a mess. This is definitely a mess. So we're gonna just take the butt end that has been bugging me, and we're gonna shove it in the cavity for now because it's wire. I'm a professional and I say so. Just kidding on the professional part. So is it still doing that to me? It is. I really like using the wire on the spool, just not when it gets all crazy like this. So I'm going to put that aside for now and use the other one. I'll have to fix that. That takes longer than the video, so anyway. I'm starting to kill my fingers here. I'm going to take a little bit of this tape real quick and save my fingers. Because you don't know this, but I've already done this video like 6 times today. I think I got it figured out now though. Alright, so we're going to take this wire and we're going to have the tail about as long as my clamp. You can get these clamps at Walmart. They're great. They hold everything nicely and they're super cheap. But I'm going around both wires. I'm trying to not push them close together because I want the distance to be the same. I'm loosely wrapping it twice and just pushing it down. Bless you. And then, all right, now we're in business. So now, I like using my 26 gauge artistic wire, copper based, always copper based when you're wire wrapping, unless you're really rich and you can use silver, which go you, by the way. But so now I'm starting the weave. So I've gotten 3 on. I need to do 3 more if I'm going off of my drawing here. So 1, oh. And I'm trying to keep the tension with my reel. 1, 2. So, and this is kind of how you decide how far you need to go. So that's 6 times. It's about the width of my bead. I'm just taking my finger and keeping the other beads back and wrapped around that twice. So now I'm going to do more. 1, 2, 3, 4. See where my wire's bent? 5, 6. And bend up. If I forgot a number, it's okay. The world will still spin. All right, so there's 1, 2, and then we're just going to push all of these in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wire. 6. And then holding that bead. 1, 2. And I'm trying to keep that wire straight so that it lays nice next to each other. Oh, see, look, I broke my wire. Well, that's perfect. I can show you guys how to add it in. So I'm just going to get the wire down, and this is how I'm holding it. And you can kind of see it. It really is a lot of pressure on your fingers. So this tape helps a lot. 3, 4, 5, 6, and around 1 bead, just like that. So you can kind of start seeing that pattern come together there. And 1, 2, 3, and that's as long as I'm going to get that. So I'm going to use more wire, and I ended on 3, so I'm going to start on, well, I shouldn't waste that much of it. So wasteful. Okay, there. So I'm going to hold it. I'm going to add at 4, 5, 6, and then I've got to make sure that that guy wants to live there somewhere and it's not disrupting my pattern too much. So there. So I got it integrated into the pattern, and now I just got to make sure, or incorporated. Oh goodness, it'd be scary if I knew a second language, I can just tell you that. All right, so got those together, and now let's try to separate these guys a little bit so I can get my fat thumb in there. 1, 2. You okay, Lucy? 3. My cat's all over the place today. 4, 5, 6. Feel free to mute me if my counting gets annoying. I can't help myself. So you can see I'm just trying to get those as lined up as nicely as I can. When I get to the turtles, I'm going to have to wrap around that bottom wire a lot more to compensate for it. But I thought it was good to have that for you to show you that you can really create any pattern you want. 4, 5, 6, and then we'll wrap around this guy. Trying to keep it clean. 1. See, if I lay the turtle flat, it'll fit perfectly without disrupting anything. 1, 2, 3. So I think I'm gonna have to go 12 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, the turtle needs maybe 4 more. So 13, 14, 15, 16. It's full on a counting game. All right, so 16 times to get around a turtle. If anybody ever asks, that's the answer. It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And then I'm back to my normal 6 again. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna wrap there. 1, 2. Make sure my phone is still doing good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And push it in, and then add 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll move this out of the way because you probably don't need to see it anymore. My goodness, it's so messy. And then we're gonna add this other bead in. So 1, 2, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and you can kind of see that pattern. I've got a happy little turtle right there. Maybe left him a little too much room, but you know, that's a turtle. I think I can actually, there, squish it a little better. So there, he can't move now. Moo-ha-ha. It's a nice thing about wires. It's I don't know, pliable, flexible. You can do stuff with it. It's not. It accepts mistakes well, I guess. And there's no mistakes. It's all organic. It's a word I use a lot in class. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because art should be a beautiful mistake. It shouldn't be something that is rigid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think. It looks like 6. My bead thinks it's a happy place to be. Oh, we're back to a turtle. So that means I got to do 16. So 1, 2. And it's just to try to keep it even. 1, 2, 3. You know, feel free to draw out your pattern if it makes it easy for you to see what you're doing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm breaking this thing. 7. 8, it's getting crazy. 9, 10, move down. Go to your happy place. Please, okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, turtle sized. So we're gonna stick that turtle up to the back end of that other one, hold it, clamp it, and wrap around it. That wire needs to come a little closer for me. There. Now I've got 4 left. It's the home stretch, and I always rush the home stretch. I don't mean to do it. I get excited because I'm almost done, and I want to see what this looks like when it's completed. Oh my goodness, I need this to catch. Okay, there. It's no good to hold this thing if the wire just keeps spinning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, eventually, if you guys want me to do these more often, I'm going to need somebody to come and be my editor. 1, 2. Oh, I messed that one up a little bit. So see, I can just kind of undo it and try to clean it up. There. Now it looks nice and clean again. Pull that wire as tight as I can without breaking the wire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's kind of the hard part, is it has a break point, you know. You push it too far and then it can only take so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, and you can tell my wires aren't the same length, and that's okay. It'll add some character. And it'll actually be very pretty. I don't like it when everything's all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll wrap around. No, get back here. The very last bead, just like that. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. But then I'm gonna pull a fast one, and now I'm only gonna wrap around this longer guy because I want to try to incorporate it into a pattern. It's just, you know, see if there's a way that I can finish it better. Let's see. 3, 4, I don't know why I'm counting. So I'm just wrapping around this one wire, and maybe I can make a curly Q out of it with wire on it and just kind of give it another decorative feature because it's just a long stranded wire all by itself. I'm hoping you can see me. So I'm just going to do this faster. Boop-a-doop. And then scooch, whoop. Scooch it all down. And I think that's as far down as I really want to go. So we'll cut that. I'm going to cut this end off with my flush cutters. And I'm going to think about there, because then really what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to take this, still have my curly Q on there, but I want it to end just as far as I went with that. And as soon as I know what the back side is that's going to be against the rock, then I'll cut my tails off. But until then, I'm going to take my clamp off. I want to keep my tails long. So now I can take my round nose pliers and just wrap this around one wire a couple times, just so it stays. And then, I don't know why I drool every time I do this, it's funny. I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to curl him in, and again I'm just leaving on my tails, I'm going to leave them all there, and I'm just trying to move them to where I think maybe the back will be. And then from here, now I got to figure out on my rock where the top, where the bottom is. But better still, what rock should I use? And I don't know. Here, I'll use another amethyst point because it's got an interesting rough edge right there. So when you look at your rock, you kind of want to find where the top, where the bottom is. I think I'm going to use this as the top so I can kind of cover this rough portion up with the bail, and I'll leave the bottom there. I don't want to cover up much of the rock, and so I've got to really look at front, back. I think I want that to be the front. So you just look at your rock and decide how you want it to go there. Then you want to take some tape because we're going to be using glue. So I've just got painter's tape. It's about 1 inch thick. You can use any painter's tape that you have. And I'm ripping off sections that are about 1.5 to 2 inches long. And I'm just putting them on the ready where I can reach them. So then I'm now going to look at where my turtles are because I want to show off my turtles. And I think even though that's the front, I think I'm going to try to cover up that little section there and maybe that section there. So I feel like I want these to be able to curl around this bottom edge. So I'm going to leave that about right there. And I'm going to take a piece of my tape and for right now, put that where I think it'll It'll hold that in place, and then I'm going to take my handy dandy bail maker, and this thing is great. You can also get it at Michael's or online, but it allows you to make your bail in several different sizes. It comes with 2 different tools, a larger one, which is this guy, and then another one that can make smaller sizes that I rarely ever use. But on here you can decide if you want your bail to be larger, smaller. I usually go with the golden rule that you just don't want your bail to be double the size of your rock, you know, so I try to make my bail half the size of the rock itself. And in a situation like this where I'm wanting it to just go over, I'm trying to find what that would look like. So if I want that to rest there and come around, and then I want that section there, but I still want to show off, you know, a good amount of that amethyst. So I'm just going to put him there. And that means that I have now found where my back is for my rock. So I can actually trim these now to go underneath this section. So still got a couple little loose wires here. I'm going to curl those in without losing my position with the tape. Oh my god, it's so hard to concentrate and talk. There, all better. So now that I've done that, I'm not going to be able to totally make that hide, but it's alright. We all got scars. So then I'll do that. I don't know, I think I do want to twist, because that crazy turtle is just very pronounced. Yeah, and that's too small. So I'm actually going to make him go down a little. And we're going to do that again, because it's sculpting and because I can. There, actually we're just going to give it a little character. Okay, so we're going to do that again. So we're going to get our bail maker. And a bail is the spot where you put your chain through. So I don't know if I specified that yet, but you know. So now we're going to just fold over like that. And now I feel like that looks better. Looks like my little turtle is swimming. And I'm surprised Joey's not laughing at me yet. Alright, so I'm putting that there. I'm going to tape over it. Tape over that piece. And then I still feel like it's going to move on me, so I'm going to tape it there. And the reason I'm using tape fully is I want to be able to use glue on these. I want to glue it on to my rock, because then I feel like it's just more secure. So there we go. So that's how I'm going to put that on. And it'll go just like that. I'm going to use tape up here to hopefully help it pinch the bail. Oh, no, I'm not. That's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Don't do it. So bossy. All right. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. There, I just had to move the beads a little bit. I want it to be closer to the rock. So I'm going to use my round nose pliers to pinch this section that I have previously pinched to get it to lay straighter. And I think that works now. So I'm going to take my piece of tape and I'm going to go around my turtle, because I'm going to put glue here, and I'm going to try and put glue here. Now I may have to glue this one twice, and that's okay, but there's my bail. There's my happy little turtle swimming. He's so happy. And then I need to cut my tails off, because I know where they're going to go. So there's that tail. And that tail. And then we'll fold this guy down. And I just want him to go around the bottom half of the rock like that. And kind of add a little drama on his own without it being a hostile takeover. And there. So once I take this all off, I think that will look quite nice. I'm going to use the table to kind of push that in a little bit more, but I'm happy with that. I think that looks quite nice. So again, I'm using my round nose. They're really a great tool, and that way I can push things in. But now that one's ready for glue. And this is just showing another one that I did with a different bail, just moving it around and twisting it. And then again, looking at my rock and deciding what I want to be top and bottom. And I liked it this way. So that way I can just push this down on the back and kind of align the bail the way I want it from the center of the rock. And you know, you just start kind of playing with it, which is easier said than done sometimes. But once you figure out how you want it to go, it gets a little easier. See, and it might be better that you do see a little bit of that as this kind of goes around. But I mean, you just want to sculpt it. You want to sculpt your bail the way that you feel is going to look the best around your rock. So I mean, this one I might change again. These are a couple that I did before with glue, so we'll take those off and look at them together here shortly. This one I'm going to show you how to apply the glue. So you want to get a piece of plastic and take one of your 20 gauge wires, curl a larger curly cube by using the largest centerpiece of the largest round part of your round nose pliers. Just gives you something better to hold on to. And then you want to get some E6000 jewelry glue and a piece of plastic. This is the one I've been using with my glue, so it's dry there. This is a clean section. And let's get all these little guys out of the way here. So clean up my space. And now I'm going to put just a little bit of this stuff right onto the plastic. And you can see when it's fresh, it's very stringy. As it starts to dry out, it becomes more dough-like. That one's already glued. There we go. So we're gonna just take a good amount on. The nice part is it comes off. The nice part about it is it comes off really easy when it's wet. So it's just very easy to work with. So I'm just trying to shove it in the tight spaces. Try to keep it away from your tape because the tape will make it look milky. But I'm just taking this and I'm shoving it into the spaces it needs to be, and then cleaning up what I can while it's still wet. There's going to be a section that touched the tape there, but it's going to be okay because I said so. And now we're just taking this, and you want to kind of move quickly because it does dry pretty fast. And I know there's some purists out there that don't like glue, but just know that it's your friend. And it's okay to use glue. So I'm trying to not get too much of this on to the tape, and you can always clean it off after using a paring knife or an X-Acto knife if you have an X-Acto knife to use. My son won't let me use his X-Acto knife because, you know, he thinks they're special and I'm going to ruin them. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Joe. So I'm just trying to put the glue in to spaces that will hold it and the wire won't move. And then And you can see once the glue stops being as stringy, it starts to get a little more doughy. And this stuff's still good to use. I'm just shoving it into this cavity here. And once it dries, it dries into a rubbery kind of condition. But it does a good job of adhering to the wire and adhering to the rock. So it's a secure hold, and it won't come off underwater or anything. It does take a while to set up, so that's why the tape is so nice. It just holds everything in place. But now I want to leave that alone for a good 45 minutes, which these have set for about 45 minutes. And now we can take the tape off, see if there's anywhere else like here that needs to be adjusted. Sometimes you have to go back through and glue it more than one time, but you just never know until you take it off the first time to see where you're at. So there's this one. I used a Labradorite, and I think I did a great job. You can see where the glue is over just on one side, but not too bad. And this one just needs to be turned inward, which is easy enough to do. There, done. But there's a beaded one that was finished with the bail that's twisted, and it kind of changes color a little bit. It's a beautiful Labradorite. This one here is another amethyst spear. And I can take this off now. And we'll just see how I did on the gluing. If it's love and life or if I need to redo it. So we'll get this off. And just a unique kind of bail. You don't have to like it. It was just fun to do. With the beads and the weave. And that's kind of the cool part, is you can do things however you want. And you can either choose to wear it or give it away as a gift. So I can see a little bit of glue right here. You just want to be careful when you're cleaning it away. A paring knife is nice because it's pretty sharp. And so I'm just wanting to get some of this glue out of the way. And you won't be able to do this part until much later. Like maybe tomorrow. This guy's not that old, but maybe tomorrow. Try not to cut yourself as I injure myself with the knife. Just kidding, I didn't. And you just don't want it to be obvious that there's glue right there. So it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience to get it cleaned off. I'm wanting to cut it, and if somebody would let me use an X-Acto knife, it would be a lot easier. Or I could tuck the sucker in. Go to your home. You like it in your home. Just go there. There we go. See? All better. Nobody has to know. And if somebody gets that close to you, tell them to back off. And I will play with this more later, but the glue is still very soft. And I don't want this to come off. I was hoping I could show you. Anyway, so there you go. Amethyst point, wire wrapped. And it's just a fun wire wrap. So there's those. This one that I did before, it's, you know, been glued for days. So I could go back through and you can just clean off anywhere that, See, like there's some glue right there. But it just does a better job of coming off when it's fully dry, when it's so close to the rock like that. But now you can decide what you want to put your wire wrap on and have fun with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed class tonight. I sure enjoyed doing it. Hopefully you'll have some good pointers for me to try for next time. And in the meantime, stay safe. How do you do this? Live long and prosper! I've got the shakes. I love you guys. Hopefully everybody's doing well and stay healthy. All right. Jennifer Getcho out.